You're 8 years old playing with wooden toys in your family's cramped cottage when a royal messenger kicks down your door. Not knocks, kicks. The king needs entertainment, and congratulations, your dad just volunteered you for the family business. See, being a court jester isn't some fun gig you apply for on medieval LinkedIn. It's a hereditary curse that gets passed down like a really twisted heirloom. Your grandfather juggled for kings, your father danced for dukes, and now it's your turn to make nobles laugh while they decide whether to execute you for breakfast. The messenger doesn't ask if you want the job. He doesn't care that you're barely tall enough to reach a grown man's belt buckle. He just tosses your parents a bag of coins that jingles like freedom, but feels more like a down payment on your soul. Your mother cries as they drag you away. But hey, at least someone's getting paid for your misery. The castle looms ahead like a stone nightmare, and you're about to discover that making people laugh for a living is the least funny job in human history. Welcome to your new home, a drafty tower room that smells like mold and broken dreams. Your bed is a pile of straw that mice have been using as a bathroom. The window doesn't have glass because apparently jesters don't deserve protection from weather. But look on the bright side. At least you get a view of the courtyard where they display the heads of people who annoyed the king. Nothing says sweet dreams like a row of rotting skulls grinning back at you. Training starts immediately because entertaining royalty requires skills they don't teach in peasant school. You learn to juggle flaming torches while dodging actual swords thrown by bored nobles. Acrobatics means flipping through the air, while courtiers place bets on whether you'll land on your feet or your face. Dancing involves wearing bells that jingle every time you move, which sounds charming until you realize those bells never come off. Ever. You jingle when you walk, when you sleep, when you use the bathroom. Privacy died the day you put on that ridiculous hat. Your costume is a masterpiece of humiliation. Bright colors that make you visible from 3 kingdoms away. A hat with more points than a porcupine, and shoes so long you trip over them constantly. The nobles think it's hilarious when you face plant into their dinner. You think it's Tuesday. The outfit weighs more than you do, and washing it means standing in a freezing river while scrubbing fabric that's absorbed months of sweat, wine, and the occasional tomato thrown by unimpressed audiences. But the real education begins when you meet the current jester, a broken man named Giggles, who's been entertaining kings for 30 years. His face is a roadmap of scars from failed performances, and his laugh sounds like crying in reverse. He teaches you the golden rule of jesting. Make them laugh or make them angry, but never make them bored. Bored kings execute people for entertainment. Angry kings just execute people faster. Your first lesson involves learning to insult people so cleverly they thank you afterward. Calling a duke fat gets you beheaded. Calling him gravitationally gifted whilst suggesting his presence makes the earth jealous gets you applause and hopefully dinner. The difference between wit and death is thinner than parchment, and you're writing on it with a quill made of pure panic. The hierarchy in the castle is simple. Kings rule everything, nobles rule peasants, guards rule prisoners, and jesters rule absolutely nothing. You're below the dogs in social status because at least dogs get petted when they're good. You get thrown scraps and told to be grateful. Your job is to make fun of everyone while somehow staying alive, which is like being a professional tightrope walker, except the rope is on fire and the ground is covered in spikes. Every morning brings new ways to potentially die for someone else's amusement. Today you might juggle knives. Tomorrow, you could be human target practice for drunk archers. But hey, at least the work is never boring. The real fun starts when you realize court entertainment isn't just performing. You're also the king's personal stress ball, emotional punching bag, and walking target for whatever mood swings royalty throws your way. Bad harvest this year? Time to cheer up His Majesty with some hilarious pratfalls. Neighboring kingdom declares war? Better dust off your funniest songs about dying gloriously in battle. The Queen's favorite horse died? Congratulations. You're now performing a one-man comedy about talking to animals in heaven. Your audience consists of people who consider public executions light entertainment. These are nobles who hunt peasants for sport and think poverty is a character flaw. Making them laugh requires understanding their twisted sense of humor, which usually involves other people's suffering. They roar with laughter when you mock the poor, applaud when you insult foreign kingdoms, and absolutely lose their minds when you make jokes about their enemies getting tortured. Your comedy career is basically a masterclass in sociopathy. The king himself is your biggest fan and your greatest threat. One day he's patting your head and calling you his little dancing monkey. The next day he's ordering guards to use you for archery practice because your joke about his hairline hit too close to home. Royal mood swings are legendary, and you're riding that emotional roller coaster without a safety harness. Kings don't just have bad days, they have bad decades, and you're expected to brighten every single miserable moment. Mealtimes are particularly degrading because jesters don't eat with humans. You perform while they feast, dancing around their table like a colorful vulture, catching scraps they toss your way. Sometimes they throw food at your face just to watch you flinch. Other times they make you sing for your supper, literally. No song, no soup. Mess up the lyrics, and you're eating kitchen scraps with the rats. The nobles find your hunger absolutely hilarious, especially when you're so desperate you'll perform tricks for a moldy piece of bread. Your days blur together in a symphony of bells and bruises until you realize this isn't living. It's just surviving with style. Years pass, decades even, and you become that broken mentor teaching the next poor kid how to dodge swords and swallow pride. The cycle continues because someone has to make the powerful laugh while the powerless suffer. Being a court jester means spending your entire life as the punchline to a joke that was never funny. And the real kicker? After all that misery, humiliation, and near-death experiences, history remembers you as the guy who got to have fun for a living.